Eala just pulled off one of the grittiest comeback victories of her young career, and what she said afterward will give you goosebumps. The 20-year-old Filipino sensation defeated 2024 Olympic silver medalist Donna Vekic 4-6, 6-4, 6-4 in a marathon 3-set battle that lasted 2 hours and 40 minutes at the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand. Down a set to an experienced veteran, Eala dug deep, fought through a medical timeout, and showed the heart of a champion to complete a stunning comeback in front of a crowd overflowing with Filipino fans. This wasn't just another first-round win. This was a statement to the tennis world that Eala is ready to take the next step in 2026. And when she grabbed the microphone after match point, she delivered a message that perfectly captured why she's becoming one of the sport's most beloved rising stars. The ASB Classic serves as one of the crucial warm-up tournaments before the Australian Open. And for Eala, this event represents her final preparation before making her main draw debut at the year's first Grand Slam. Entering the tournament as the 4th seed behind Ukraine's Elina Svitolina and Americans Emma Navarro and Eva Jovic, Eala came into this match riding high on confidence. Just one day earlier, she and Jovic had defeated tennis legend Venus Williams and Svitolina in a thrilling doubles match, saving 8 set points in a first-set tiebreak before cruising to victory. That win proved Eala could handle pressure on the biggest stages, but the real test was always going to be singles competition against a decorated opponent. Donna Vekic represented exactly that kind of test. The 29-year-old from Croatia is currently ranked 69th in the world after a difficult 2025 season that saw her drop from a year start ranking of 19th to where she stands today. But her pedigree is undeniable. Vekic reached a career-high singles ranking of 17th and has captured 4 WTA singles titles during her career. More impressively, she reached the semifinals at Wimbledon in 2024 and captured the silver medal at the Paris Olympics, cementing her status as one of tennis's most dangerous players on her best days. She came into this match with a new coach previously linked to Katie Boulter, Biljana Veselinovic, and a new clothing sponsor in Eala as she attempts to recapture her best form. For Eala, this matchup represented her first meeting with Vekic, and the contrast between the two players made it fascinating. Both are big hitters who try to out-hit opponents from the baseline, but their paths to this moment couldn't have been more different. Eala, ranked 53rd in the world, is just beginning to establish herself on tour after a breakthrough 2025 season that saw her reach the Miami Open semifinals by defeating Iga Swiatek, capture her first WTA title at the Guadalajara Open, and become the first Filipino player ever to break into the WTA Top 50. Vekic, meanwhile, is trying to prove that 2025 was an aberration and not the beginning of a decline at 29 years old. The biggest advantage Vekic held was her serve. She's often among the ace leaders on tour and produced 19 aces in her last 3 matches, despite also hitting 14 double faults. Eala's serve has been identified as her biggest weakness, making return games crucial to her success. When the match began at center court, Eala came out firing with aggressive intent. She raced to a quick 3-love lead, breaking Vekic's serve early and dictating play with powerful ground strokes. The Filipino fans in attendance, and they were everywhere, creating a sea of flags and noise, erupted with every point Eala won. It felt like home for the young star, even though she was thousands of miles from the Philippines. But tennis at this level is never easy, and Vekic showed exactly why she's an Olympic silver medalist and former top 20 player. The Croatian flipped the switch and won 6 of the next 7 games, completely turning the momentum around and stealing the opening frame 6-4 from Eala. The second set became crucial for Eala's chances. Losing in straight sets to Vekic would have been disappointing after such a promising start, and she knew she needed to find another gear. Vekic tied things at 3-all after winning the 6th game, maintaining her momentum from the first set. But Eala showed the fighting spirit that has defined her career. She won the next 2 games with superior returns and aggressive baseline play to take a 5-3 lead. Vekic kept herself alive by holding serve to make it 5-4, but Eala refused to let the set slip away. She forced the 3rd set by winning the 10th game, leveling the match and sending a message that she wasn't going anywhere. Between sets, Eala required a medical timeout to address a physical issue, briefly stepping off the court while the crowd held its breath. This was exactly the kind of moment where matches can turn. A young player dealing with a medical problem against a veteran who could smell blood in the water. But when Eala returned to the court for the deciding set, she looked refreshed and determined. This was her opportunity to prove she belonged at this level, and she wasn't about to waste it. The third set unfolded with incredible tension and drama. Vekic cruised to her first breakpoint of the game in the 8th game, threatening to take control of the match. But Eala scored the next 2 points to secure a pivotal 5-3 lead, moving within 1 game of victory. The crowd was going absolutely wild, sensing that their hero was about to complete an incredible comeback. But tennis is cruel sometimes. Eala committed back-to-back errors, including a painful double fault, allowing Vekic to take the next game and stay alive at 5-4. The momentum seemed to be swinging back to the veteran. This was the moment that would define the match and perhaps Eala's entire 2026 season. Down came the pressure, with Vekic fighting for her professional life and Eala trying to close out the biggest win of her young year. Showing the resilience that has become her trademark, the Filipino sensation bounced back immediately. She unleashed a powerful forehand that left Vekic scrambling and sealed the thrilling comeback victory. The final point came when Vekic's return went straight into the net, and Eala collapsed in celebration as the Filipino fans erupted in pure joy. The match lasted 2 hours and 40 minutes of high-quality, entertaining tennis, with both players exchanging brilliant rallies throughout. Eala proved to be the fitter of the two, as Vekic seemed to get fatigued in her first match of the season. The result sends Eala through to the round of 16, where she'll face another Croatian player, Petra Marcinko, giving her a chance to continue her momentum against familiar opposition. But the most memorable part of this entire victory came during Eala's on-court interview immediately after match point. Standing at center court, surrounded by cheering Filipino fans who had traveled from around the world to support her, Eala grabbed the microphone and delivered words that perfectly captured why she's becoming one of tennis's most beloved young stars. She began by acknowledging her opponent's quality and the difficulty of the match. She's such an experienced player and super talented and definitely very decorated. So, I really had a tough time today, Eala said with genuine respect in her voice. But I'm most happy about being able to compete and show up at a level like this, especially after such a tough preseason and so many things that's happened over the past month. Then came the moment that sent chills through every Filipino in attendance and watching around the world. Eala looked directly at the crowd, emotion clear in her voice, and said, "It's so special, and if there's one thing I've learned in 2025, it's that home is a people and not a place. So thank you everyone, maraming salamat. Home is a people and not a place." Let that sink in for a moment. Here's a 20-year-old athlete competing thousands of miles from her homeland, yet feeling completely at home because of the community that surrounds her. She thanked the crowd in Tagalog with "Maraming salamat," which means thank you very much, acknowledging her roots while competing on the global stage. It was a beautiful moment that transcended sports and spoke to something deeper about identity, belonging, and the power of community support. Playing miles away from the Philippines, it must not have felt that way for Eala as the roar of Filipino fans carried her through the grueling nearly 3-hour battle. They chanted her name during changeovers, cheered every point she won, and created an atmosphere that made Auckland feel like Manila,